Hello, and thank you for calling the Higher Self Hotline, your direct line to the divine. You've been led here by your inner knowing, and you've arrived right on cue. I'm your host, Zoey Greco, and together we'll make the ethereal earthly, helping you consciously embody your spiritual knowing and most authentic self. Please listen carefully to the following options. To discover how to fulfill your soul's purpose, press 1. To unlock infinite abundance in life, love, and career, press 2. To heal your mind, body, and spirit, press 3. To speak with your personal spirit guides, press 0. Please hold while we connect you to your highest timeline. Hello, Divine Darlings, and welcome back to the Higher Self Hotline. I'm your host, Zoey Greco. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today is a very special episode. Some things over here at ZGHQ are changing. We're going through what I would call an entrepreneurial puberty, if you will. And we're exploring the changes that seem like they want to happen naturally, which is why I'm calling it puberty. Some of this doesn't feel voluntary. Some of this feels like it is a calling from somewhere else. And as we're navigating those changes, both inside the business and on the podcast, I really want to make sure that in the changes that come, that I am bringing you the most that I possibly can from these episodes. And so for today, I have invited a friend to the couch, so to speak, my dear, dear friend, Amelia Elsie Buxton. Amelia, welcome to the Higher Self Hotline.
What's up? Even when you were talking then about changes, I was going,
change. Yes. I feel like that's something we have in common is turning things into musicals quickly, or like taking songs and applying them. Amelia and I have a lot in common. Amelia has worked in my business and been my friend for over 3 years, has just been a soul sister to me. And we are both millennial women who were raised by the pop culture icons of our time, Lizzie McGuire among them. And I really wanted to invite Amelia into this space to support me in being able to communicate even better with you guys, just exploring a different style for these conversations. And so today, Amelia and I are going to try something on for size and take you along for the ride. And it felt very automatic and natural to me to just be really honest with you guys about the changes, to just say, we're figuring that out as we go. I've got a lot of ideas, a lot of things that I'm excited to bring forward and bring to the table. And as a part of this, we're going to be asking you as well for your input on what you'd like to see in the future of the show as we shape it into something that is even more for you. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But in the meantime, I'm just excited to kind of introduce the concept, the idea, and to bring forward this amazing co-yapper for today's episode. Amelia, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for throwing your hat into the ring to have this experience with me. I'm curious if you have any message for the Higher Self Hotline community.
Yeah, I just want to say that, I threw my hat in the ring almost immediately after Zoey said that she was looking for a, quote, well, she did not say this, but I thought in my head, a really cool side bitch for the show. I was like, I want to be that bitch. Because I just see the passion and the heart and the love Zoey has for this show and what she wants to grow it into. And, I did a broadcast journalism degree at university. I'm big on production and like being part of really cool media projects. And I also just wanted to have fun. I have so much fun talking to Zoey. It's kind of like, think of me like the Guillermo to Zoey's Jimmy Kimmel. Or like the Andy Richter to Zoey's Conan O'Brien. Like that's me today.
Honestly, those are exactly the examples that I like. When I think of you, I think of Guillermo. And I'm just kidding.
Especially because I'm Latin American.
Yeah, exactly. You guys just have a certain something, you know what I mean? But Amelia is more than just a marketer and more than just a woman with a background in broadcast journalism. Amelia is also an author and a reader and a huge bookstagram creator. If you guys don't already follow her at the Velvet page, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Amelia, for sure is my favorite book talk and bookstagram creator. And I am a person that loves a good romantasy. I'm a person that loves a good recommendation, but Amelia just delivers that information in the most natural, authentic, real way. And I truly and genuinely trust your recommendations, Amelia. So I'm really excited for people to get to know that part of you and that side of you as well here on the podcast and online on your Bookstagram account.
Thank you so much. And you actually recommended a book to me last year I really loved called Wolf Gone Wild. Do you remember that? Yeah.
Oh, do I?
It's like an interconnected kind of mod. Think of The Originals, the show The Originals. It's like a modern New Orleans witchy wolfy scenario, and I really loved that. So gracias for that recommendation.
That's the first in a series that I read. I read every single one in that series. I think it's called the Stay a Spell series, about 6 sisters who live in New Orleans, and each all find their I don't know what the word is. Mythical counterpart, their supernatural counterpart. There you go. Yeah. And they like meet their loves. And honestly, I made it all the way through and then read the Christmas special because I enjoyed it so much.
I love a Christmas special. We love it.
It would it took place between a couple of the books where like some of the characters had already gotten together and were having babies, and it was like so cute. And when it was over, I really felt like, I'm sure you feel this way with books. Like when your series is done, you feel like that kind of lost, like, okay, I guess I'll just never know anything else about these people. But like between books, when you know there's one ahead of you, you're like, okay, good. At least like I have more information coming. Like I'm going to get more tea on these people that I love to read about and think about.
Exactly. And it's like my friend has gotten me into reading Throne of Glass, and that's like a complete 8-book fantasy read. And she's like, I want you to read all of it. And I'm like, yeah, but once it's done, it's done. It's done. Like I need to take my time.
I remember before I got into reading, especially like romantasy, my friend Gia brought me all of the Twilight books and insisted that I read them. And I told her when she gave them to me, I was like, I'm letting you know right now, when I have time to read, I'm not fucking reading Twilight. Like it's not going to happen. So I will take these books because you're making me, but I'm telling you right now, nothing's going to happen with them. And they stayed in my trunk of my car for a year and a half until finally I was like, okay, Gia, I told you I wasn't going to read these, take them back. But then Ethan did make me watch Twilight for the first time ever.
Hold on, hold the phone.
I know.
Twilight until recently?
No, it was totally a new thing for me. I know. Which is tough, right? Because like watching them in 2025, like, you know, that's a totally different lens than when they were created. So it's hard to view like Where You Been Loca, you know, or like Hang On Spider Monkey or whatever. Like it's hard to hold those things as a modern woman. And also,
I will never forget watching the first Twilight movie because I was in like, I think I was year 7 at school. So I don't know what that is in grades, but I was like 13. And there was I was in year 8. There was a cute guy who I sat next to from school for the whole movie. And then I asked him to be my boyfriend via another friend, because that's how you did it back then. You didn't do it directly, you did it via someone else.
100%.
We need to do that. Why? We need to bring that back, right?
100%.
Anyway, he said no. It was like the single best and worst day of my life.
I bet he regrets it to this day.
Oh my God.
Wow. Fumbling Amelia is a hard pill to swallow. It's a really hard pill to swallow. You know, as we're sitting down for this conversation, not only am I excited to kind of share some new energy with you guys in terms of like applying spiritual principles and spiritual topics that we love on the podcast to these very, you know, modern day pop culture topics. I'm really excited to talk about the collective numerology of this month, mostly because April is my favorite month. Can anyone guess why? If you're watching this on a video, does anyone know why April might be my favorite month? Yeah, that's right. Because it's my birthday month, bitches. I'm wearing a crown that says birthday girl. I have my birthday girl sash on today, and I dressed up just for you guys because this episode is coming out the day before my birthday. So whenever you hear this on release day, because I know you guys are just chomping at the bit I actually think the term is champing at the bit to wish me happy birthday and check this episode out as soon as it lands. My birthday is the following day, April 3rd. So please hop over to the Zoey Greco on all socials and wish me a happy birthday and tell me your birthday wish, and I will wish it when I blow my candles out on my birthday, okay?
So nice.
I'm going to make everyone's dreams come true.
I saw an Instagram post yesterday where it said like, Aries women, zoom in on this. And there was like a little body of text. And when you zoom in, it said, calm the fuck down.
Yeah, honestly, not only as an Aries am I very excitable in general, but I will say Around my birthday, I get a little feral. I started throwing really extravagant themed birthday parties. I mean, extravagant's a strong word, but for me, they were pretty extravagant. I started throwing extravagant themed parties, I would say around 2022, yeah, it must have been 2022. I had a big tea party where I invited all my friends and had like a true high tea, which was so fun. The following year, I did an angel themed, everyone had to dress like an angel, sleepover party. And I made all my friends sleep at my house on mattresses on the floor, which when you're in your 30s is not as fun as it was when you were 7. Like one of my friends, Gia, the one that put the Twilight books in my car, went to bed because she's a nurse. She's like, I have work in the morning. So she went to bed at 8:00 in the middle of this party, like full eye mask, earplugs, laid down on the floor. We're literally like all around her watching movies, decorating tote bags, like getting crazy. And Gia is full on passed out asleep.
That is commitment because you have a spare bedroom in your house as well.
Well, to be fair, we took that mattress and put it on the floor, but there were other places she could have snuck off to. But I made everyone sleep on I always tell my friends, like, my dream is for me to have one giant bed that all my friends hang out in and we just watch movies and just like literally bed rot all day together. And so that's what I made everyone do. And then the morning after, we had a chef come and make breakfast. So that was really fun. Yeah, super fun. And then last year I don't know what you would call it. I did a cherry themed picnic, like a 1950s kind of like black, white, and red, like picnic theme. And that was super, super fun. We had a photographer come and do like a photo shoot of all my friends, and kind of like, just hang out outside and like look fabulous. That was really fun. And so I knew that this year I really needed to up the ante. And I have to say, I don't know where to go from here. Like the plan that I have for this year is I don't know what I might have to stop celebrating my birthday. I might have to just say, okay, I did it. I topped out because I don't think I can do better than this year's plans.
This year's plans are freaking amazing. And I just want to say as well, when you mentioned like the mattresses on the floor for your birthday a couple of years ago, it reminds me of in Gossip Girl in the first series. Did you watch Gossip Girl? Were you a Gossip Girl person? No,
I didn't watch Gossip Girl.
But you kind of like, would you know the character?
Oh, yeah.
Blair Waldorf.
Yes, yeah.
She hosted a sleepover where it was like the same thing, where there's mattresses on the ground and there's like people serving champagne and caviar. These kids were like 14. And I was always like, I would love to go to a sleepover like that.
Oh, my Venus in Taurus just screams about big, comfy luxe beds, caviar, like silky PJs. My favorite snack, actually, I eat like vegetarian plant-based caviar because A, it's way more affordable, and B, I'm never gonna get hit with a fishy taste that I know I'm gonna hate. Mm-hmm. So I eat this plant-based like seaweed caviar, and I eat it on a potato chip with creme fraiche, and it's out of this world, like out of this world. So if you ever want to really impress your friends and be like, look so chic and elegant, a bottle of champagne, potato chips, creme fraiche, and plant-based caviar, because we love the planet.
Yes.
Yes, it's definitely going to be one of the snacks at my birthday, actually. But this episode is coming out, I would say, 2 days before my party. Should I just tell them what I'm going to do? Should I spill it?
Tell them.
Okay. So I've talked about it a little bit, but the theme is Zoey. So I'm making all of my friends dress like me, doing their best in like Zoey outfit. And they're going to do a serve off, like a drag race style serve off. So I rented this vintage clothing store out here that is super, super active in creating events and experiences for the LGBTQ community. It's run by these like 2 young 20-somethings, and it is the business of our dreams, Amelia. Like when you come to visit again, it's our first stop because it is the vintage store of all vintage stores. I found them on Instagram because one of the owners does this series on TikTok and Instagram called An Evil Gay Stylist Styles You For. And then it's like some crazy event, like Evil Gay Stylist Styles You for Coachella or like whatever. And I just fell in love with their content. I thought it was so cute and so funny. And so when it was time for me to throw this party where I wanted to do this like fashion show, basically like a Zoey themed fashion show, I was beside myself because I was like, I literally do not have it in me. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. I don't have the budget. I just don't have it in me to like decorate my house like it's fashion week. Like I just can't do it. So I was like, you know what? I've seen this place online. Like, let me just like reach out and ask if they do events or if they would let me do an event there. Boy, do they. I went in for a tour, and I actually have some major tea to tell you about this tour. I ended up running into my arch nemesis, and it is actually an incredible, incredible story. So we should tell it on this episode. But basically, I went in for a tour, and they were like, we will do everything. We'll rearrange the entire store so that you can have like a perfect catwalk for your friends. We will set up like an entire photo station for your friends. We'll have a videographer. We'll do photography for you guys. You can use the clothes in the store to like amplify the Zoey outfits. All my friends are going to get 35% off on everything in the store because I'm turning 35. And the winner of the serve off is going to get a $100 gift card to the store so they can just go absolutely crazy, because the prices here are so good. It's a store called the Diva Den. I don't think I mentioned that. So the name of it, I think, tells you everything you need to know. So I decided that I never had a super sweet 16. I never had a sweet 16. Like, I never did anything like that. And I was like, oh, I need an entrance for this party. So I commissioned a pop-out cake, a cake that I'm going to jump out of. And I commissioned an outfit that looks like I'm made of icing. So I'm going to pop out of a cake and like surprise all my friends. And then I have a cake that I've designed with my cake girl that I love. Shout out to Honey Baby Sweets here in Arizona, in the Phoenix area. If you need cakes, Honey Baby Sweets is your girl. And she is going to take a doll and put the doll in the cake to look like me jumping out of the pop-out cake. So it's going to be like me jumping out of a cake, dressed like a cake, holding a cake of a doll, looking like me jumping out of a cake.
Pause right there. Remember when you said, I'm not really extravagant? Also you.
Yeah, no. What I was going to say is I wasn't extravagant in the past. I think, well, having a chef come and make breakfast for everyone is pretty extravagant. So you know what? You're making your point. But what I will say is, I really genuinely think this is going to be my favorite birthday experience, not just because I'm jumping out of a cake and like, you know, doing all these things, but because so often when I get dressed or when I wear something, my friends, not all of them, but a lot of them are like, I would never think to wear that, or like, I would never try to wear that. Like, people just, I have this reputation of wearing things that like, I mean, right now I guess is a good example, but like wearing things that other people feel like they couldn't pull off, or like, I take risks with fashion that I would love to see my friends feel more confident to take. And so I wanted everyone to have a day where they had the same feeling that I get every day when I get dressed, which is like, I feel fabulous. I feel amazing. And it's like a way of honoring myself. Like, my fashion is like a method of self-devotion. And I really wanted my friends to have that experience and like try that out and see what it feels like to just like diva out and not give a fuck.
I love it so much. The first thing that came to mind was, if you could have any like clothing montage, like movie moment music, what are you going for?
Oh my God.
Because you've got like...
This question is insane.
I know. Like on Liz McGuire, it was, you better work. Come on, girl. And then winning London, Mary-Kate and Ashley, it was just can't get enough.
Yes. What was it in What a Girl Wants with Amanda Bynes?
Oh,
I want to say it was like I'm Walking on Sunshine, but that can't be it.
Oh, that's going to bug me because I know exactly... Oh, I'm so stuck. I can't remember. But yeah, it's when she gets like the new jeans or something and she's dressing up Colin Firth at the same time.
Yes, like they're at like a market. They're at like a street market. It's so good. But I guess, man, I'm sure you have a great answer for this, but I gotta say, I think mine would be, I would steal it from another movie. So from Freaky Friday, where it's like, you're the ultimate, it's automatic, I'm sure of it. Like, I would definitely take that song. I think it's You're the Ultimate, or Ultimate You is the name of that song.
Yeah, a classic. 100%. Yeah. And I didn't have like a perfect answer. I was curious with what you were going with. But Ultimate is like, that's the one.
You know, it makes me feel upbeat and positive. And like, you're the ultimate you, you're doing your fashion montage, your fashion sequence. So I personally, you just gave me a great idea. I'm going to make my friends do a fashion montage. video where like they're coming out of the dressing room. I'm so excited about it. Oh, I forgot to say, they said that they could set up a confessional. They're like, we have a confessional here in the store. Like we can set up a confessional for your friends to like say something. And I was like, turn it into a compliment booth. And they have to all go in and make compliment me. And then they're going to make a compilation of all my friends complimenting me. So I will definitely share that on Instagram when it's ready and back to me, because I think that's going to be so, so, so cute.
What I love about you, Zoey, and I'm similar, but I don't celebrate to this extent, and I want to. Like, I'm really getting into the hosting thing. But I love how on your birthday, like, it's a reminder that this is a celebration of you. And you really do take that to the next level, but in such a wonderful way. And I love my birthday as well. I'm like, yeah, I want to celebrate me, of course. Like, I was born on this day, and look what we've accomplished. So I think that there's so much inspiration to be taken from the way that you celebrate yourself during your solar return.
Thank you so much for saying that. I saw somewhere that like the party you throw yourself, or like how much you let yourself celebrate your birthday, is a reflection of how much you love yourself. And I would say that that's definitely true. Like, I think the more that I've learned to love myself, the more that I've been willing to celebrate myself. But I have to also say that I think giving myself a chance to be celebrated and be loved by my people has also helped me love myself. Bless you. Help me love myself more. And that idea of like choosing to let yourself be celebrated feels so important to me. And I think that's why I wanted to give my friends that opportunity to like dress and feel fabulous and like strut down a walkway and like also feel celebrated, because when they're doing that, we're going to be screaming. We're going to be losing our shit. Like, I don't think I'll have a voice after my party. And I want people to feel that energy of like, what is it like to be a star? Like, what is it like to like be under a spotlight and just feel fabulous? Because the more that I let that magic into my life, the more that I'm finding it's easy to be myself, which I didn't think would be true. Like, I didn't think that going under a spotlight would make it feel easier, but there's almost something about it where it's like, okay, like I'm going to put on a fucking show then. Like, if I'm under the spotlight, then I'm going to do it big and I'm going to do it right. And I think I'm really in a phase of my life where I'm beginning to really understand the power of that, and how when you do that, it really, really does give people permission to do it as well. Like, I'm seeing that so actively in the container, and the level of not just like manifestations that they've been able to achieve, but the levels of self-love that they're unlocking is so, so immense and so profound. And I can tell that the more that I'm willing to do it in front of them, the more easily they're able to do it for themselves. And that's really magical.
We love it. And it kind of makes sense with year one, numerology energy, year of the fire horse. It's very apt for what's going on in the collective and spiritually. And I feel it
yes. Too. You know, I'm interested by that statement because April is a collective month 5 in the numerology of this collective year one. And I feel like it is kind of very much like a star is born energy. Usually 3 would be the number of like being a star, or like, like me energy. But 5 also is very charismatic. The life of the party attracts a lot of attention. And I am really interested to discuss the upcoming numerology of April. So should we just kind of dive on into it?
Let's dive in, baby. I'm curious.
Is there something you've been overthinking lately? A decision you keep circling, a situation that feels a little confusing, or a moment where you just wish you could ask a psychic what's actually going on? How'd I know? I must be psychic or something. One of the things I've learned from doing this work for years is that a lot of the time, people are already sensing the truth of a situation. They just want a little perspective, confirmation, or guidance so they can trust themselves enough to move forward. And that is exactly what the Let Me Ask My Psychic segment is for. Listeners send in their questions and I choose a few to respond to right here on the podcast, offering intuitive insight into whatever situation they're navigating. And the best part is that submitting a question is completely free. You're welcome to write in about a decision you're trying to make, how you want to show up in the world and be seen, a shift that might be happening in your life, a relationship dynamic you're trying to understand, or honestly, any situation where you could use a little more clarity and advice directly from me. If you've been dying to ask a psychic something, head to zoegreco.com/hotline and send your question my way. If I select it, we'll explore it together here in an upcoming episode of the show. And who knows, the answer you've been looking for might show up right here next week. Tune in to find out. Okay, so 5 is the number of change. It is the number of freedom And it's the number of novelty, like adrenaline. 5 loves an adrenaline rush. They're thrill seekers, but also 5 is really a number of, in my opinion, in the work that I've done with numerology, it's a number of surrender in a lot of ways, because it's not necessarily the change that we always seek to create. We can take advantage of the change, the energy of change, but sometimes the energy of change comes and sweeps us off our feet. And it may not be the change that we were hoping for or expecting, but it always is the change that we need. And it does feel like something pretty huge, pretty powerful, and pretty collectively like widespreading is going to be moving through the collective, where something we're not expecting, something that we didn't think to put on our bingo card is going to occur for the collective. And the good news is it's coming on the heels of all of this very intentional work that we've been doing for the rest of this year so far, of like building important relationships, learning how to communicate, building structure and foundation under our new hopes and dreams. This is where something gets clicked into action, and it's very powerful. The only thing that I would say is that 5 can be a little bit impulsive. So we do need to be mindful that we are acting in the light aspects of 1 and 5 versus the shadow aspects of 1 and 5 when we embrace and facilitate these changes.
Oh, so much to say there. I want to start with the impulsivity, because like in my own world, when you mentioned about like my bookstagram, towards the start of this year, I started posting like more regularly. And there was this feeling of, I want to post this thing today. Now I'm inspired to post something the next day and the next day and the next day. And I was like, wait, am I like trapping myself in a bit of a silo of getting into it? It's kind of continued because I still have the same passion, but I think that there is a level of like, sometimes I stop myself with it being like, could you take a breather here? Like, do you need to be subscribing every single day to posting something? But then what you're saying is kind of like, embrace the impulsivity.
Yes, 100%. I think the thing is, we have to balance this energy, because we're still in a collective year 1, and collective year 1 is about like new beginnings, fresh starts. It's about creating and initiating, but 1 can be very independent and a little bit too independent. Like, I'll do it myself, or kind of like, I don't need anybody, like me against the world sort of vibe. And so that's the only thing I'm really talking about is like, just be mindful that you're not slipping into ego and operating reactively. So I guess that's actually a better way to say it. There's a difference between being reactive and being impulsive. And reactivity is more of like an activated, agitated response to a trigger or an experience. Whereas an impulse is like what you're describing, where there's kind of this electrical current that's like, I have this idea, I want to bring it into life. And you're being courageous enough and intentional enough to catch those impulses when they arrive and then bring them into reality. I was just admiring the Velvet page this morning and the new video that you dropped today, which I know people will be able to scroll back and see, but like watching you talk about committing to the bit and sort of like what you're being invited into in the season. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting you to, but I so appreciate you like highlighting that. Yeah, because I'm on like my writer's journey of like writing a book right now, and I'm kind of tackling I turned 30 in October. Not to say that there's any age that's like not appropriate to start something new, but naturally when you get to 30, having never done something like this before, your imposter syndrome is like, oh my gosh, too late. Not the time to do it. Like, you're so far from where you need to be. There's content creators who have been doing this thing for like a decade and, they're doing it. So, but I'm like, I'm still going to write the book. So I'm trying to like be a bit more intentional with what I'm sharing about that journey and the different themes that are going to come up. Hence this new series called Committing to the Bit, which is funny because like my English friends I live in Mexico City. I'm surrounded by a lot of American people and all of that. And I know that the bit isn't really a British term, but I know it. And then when I was speaking to my American friends, they're like, yeah, of course I get what that is. So I'm just flowing with it. I'm just going to chronicle different things that I'm learning on the writer's journey, and yeah, follow that year one collective energy, and lead with the impulsivity with intention, as you said.
You know, what you're describing is so apt, because when we talk about like committing to the bit, what you're really doing is you are embracing that energy of change. Like, you're aware that there's a flow that's trying to move through your world. There's like a flow of inspiration that comes with this year one. And 5 is impulsive. Like, it wants to ride that wave and catch that wave. It's that adrenaline in the 5 that's like, this could carry me somewhere. This could take me somewhere. And being committed to it, but also in a way that's very authentic and raw, makes a lot of sense, because 5 is sort of a number that's like, it can't hide its nature. It really just reveals who it is. And you're very clear and very aware. Like, there's numbers that I think can be more reclusive and hide themselves and be more covert in the way that they're moving through the world. 5 is really not that. 5 is like, people who have 5 in their chart often feel quite messy. Like, they feel very scattered. They feel like they don't really have enough, like they feel like often like they don't have anything to show for what they've built or what they've done, because they kind of pop around and hop around because they're attracted to novelty. And what I think is important for 5s, and you know, the energy of 5, is that it is the number of being multi-passionate. It is the number of allowing multiple things to flow in. And so when we're talking about being impulsive, it's like, yeah, maybe you're a Bookstagram creator and an author, but you're also being invited to try fashion or food review or whatever. If there's something that truly feels like it's a part of your passion and a part of your interest, embrace that multi-passionate energy. Embrace the fact that creativity and expression is trying to flow into you and through you in a multitude of directions. Like, the idea of being singular in our calling is a very like capitalistic perspective, and not one that I think comes naturally to most people, if not maybe anyone. Like, we all need a life that has many tentacles and many arms. And so in this month 5, we are supposed to be getting bold and allowing ourselves to flow with the winds of change that come through our life, as well as, you know, setting our intentions for that journey as well. Like, yeah, the river is carrying us somewhere that we don't totally have control of, but we get to decide what that ride is like. Are we going to go kicking and screaming, or are we going to like whitewater raft that shit and like make it our bitch? And that's the energy that I would personally opt for.
And I would love to know, people that are listening, what's coming with like the multi-passionate lens that Zoey mentioned, whether it's multi-passionate or not. I'd love to know what's coming through for a month 5 for you, that you're just ready to start the thing or continue the thing or grow the thing. I want to know what the thing is so we can celebrate it.
Tell us in the comments. We want to know the thing, because the thing is part of the collective, right? Like, when we keep our multi-passionate energy to ourselves, even like when we allow ourselves to be multi-passionate in private, it doesn't get to reverberate and ripple out into the world and into the collective the way that it needs to. Like, this isn't just about finding that for yourself. It's about finding it on a collective level and a collective scale. So as a group and as a whole, we're also going to be deciding like, what impulses do we want to follow? Like, what inspirations and novelties are calling to us that we have maybe been avoiding, things we've been afraid to try that we're just finally a little too reckless to say no to.
Mm-hmm. What do you think yours would be? And put you on the spot.
That's such a good question.
You know what, though?
You know,
actually,
honestly,
just to interject,
please.
Probably what were you doing with the podcast? Like, what's transforming?
Yeah. This is definitely... It's definitely something that feels so divinely orchestrated. And I've always found that when spirit delivers, like, it arrives the same way every time, and it arrives differently than the way that I receive other intuitive information. When it's time to truly change something, and it's time to truly transform something in my life, which, by the way, you've been present to a lot of those very significant changes. Like, I almost feel like in some ways your energy has enabled me to unlock the possibility of dreaming into those things. And I really mean that. I am really grateful for you all the time. And I feel like this has been one of those times where I heard it so clearly. It came to me so specifically in the way that all amazing things always do. And when I received the invitation, the best way to unlock the blessing is to just do the thing that I'm being asked to do every single time. Like, that's how I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so when I heard like, it's time to change the show, I said, okay. And like, you know, maybe is this episode the best example of what's coming? Like, probably not, because we're just trying. We're doing our first thing. But the idea that I'm willing to try something new and try it out loud and give other people permission to do that same thing feels like the impulse that I want to be following right now.
Especially because every amazing project that we admire, or like leaders that we admire, they all started from trying out loud.
Yes, absolutely. Like, I truly don't feel a fear of failure, not because I don't think I can fail, but because like being afraid of failure is just giving failure power to define you. But like, failure doesn't define me. Like, trying something and not doing it perfectly doesn't define me. And to be honest, like, I did not always feel that way. That's definitely a mindset that I've grown into and cultivated by letting myself try and fail and try and fail. But there was like a transitional period where I was doing a lot of that privately, and then decided like, okay, I'm just going to start doing this in front of people. And I feel like that is what people truly need to witness and experience, because if they can see someone else doing it, then they feel like, oh, well, maybe I could do that too. Maybe it's not so bad if people know that I'm reaching for something or wanting something, or that I have a dream or I have a hope. And I'm more than happy to like be a dreamer in front of people, which I think is a quality that you also possess. Like, I feel like you're very courageous and vulnerable in your expression of like, here's what I'm trying, here's what I'm doing. Like, you really do have that gift.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It really wasn't always that way. Maybe in the last few years I've tried to be more bold, but two things that came to mind was, there's a really good podcast, if anyone's wondering how to fail better. There's literally a podcast called How to Fail by Elizabeth Day, and she is a British thought leader, writer, and she interviews celebrities, chefs, like all these amazing people about their failures. And obviously they're of like great success. And then the other thing was, Connor Story from Heated Rivalry made a quote recently around, he said, I would rather fully send it and fail miserably than just stay behind the scenes and do nothing. Like, that there is no way to progress if you're not willing to fuck up or to put yourself out there vulnerably and have it throw back in your face. So yeah, that's living, baby.
Yeah. It's funny because I guess I've kind of been circling around a little bit of like the changes that are happening here and not necessarily naming them as specifically. And I think there's a part of me that is hesitant to say what my thought process is, because I don't want to put anyone into a panic. But the other part of me is like, I think I really do want to be honest and transparent about like what I'm thinking. So I'm going to say it. We are considering and feeling strongly like the right decision would be to remove the client sessions from the podcast. And that's hard to say, but really goes along with the year 1, month 5 energy, because this style of content we've been doing on the show is a concept that is more than 8 years old, and that I've been personally executing for 7 years. And I often feel like if I'm giving someone something that they want or something that they like, no matter how it feels for me, I should keep doing that for them. Like, that's what being of service is. And I've really been learning over the last year that the greatest service that you can provide to others literally erupts from being of service to yourself. And the people that I am truly meant to serve will be the most truly served when I am also serving myself. And the work that I'm doing and the direction of my passion for the work is changing. It's still mystical and magical and fun and otherworldly and spiritual in nature, but I am feeling like it's time to let the podcast be a stronger representation of where my work is going, and also where my own personal sense of self is being called to evolve as well. So we're thinking of eliminating the client session episodes as well as the meditation episodes. So if you have opinions about that, we're going to talk to you about that in a second. But what I can say is I'm feeling personally called to remove those types of content from the show and replace them with more personal content, more pop culture content, more numerology content, and of course, an entire segment of its own episode solely of answering your listener questions, really engaging with you. We've now had a couple of the pajama parties under our belt. We're going to be doing those every month. It's the free pajama party that you can come to and join, where I'm able to really connect with the community. Amelia attended last night's pajama party and we had such a good time. And you know, it's our special secret space to like connect IRL, like in the moment. I mean, it's IRL as much as you can virtually, but like, you know, it's live. It's not something you're listening to. We're having a conversation. And I want more of that. I want more of that for us. So creating an entire episode dedicated to answering your questions. And we're exploring the different ways that we can make that almost like gamified and entertaining and amazing for you, as well as creating a space in a different episode to explore the way that spiritual concepts like numerology, astrology, human design, but primarily numerology, because that's my thing, how that interacts with what's happening in the zeitgeist on the collective scale and the examples that we can glean from what's happening in the pop culture, politics that reflects the things that we're all moving through on a collective scale. So we have actually created a survey that we would love if you would be willing to fill out. Starting today, you're going to find it in the show notes. So for you listening, that's all you need to know. It's in the show notes. But we're sending the survey out and we want to know, what do you want to see? What do you want to see the direction of the show turn into? Because this is for you. And you have always shaped the show. A listener even has named the show. When we decided to change it from the Mystic Rebel podcast to Higher Self Hotline, that was a listener submission. So you guys have always shaped the show, whether it's been through being the client or writing in and letting me know what you want to see or asking your listener questions or naming the show. It's always been for you. It will always be for you. And so as we're evolving into this new direction together, whether you're new to the show and you want to go back and binge and listen to the 7 years of content that's already existing, or you want to work with us into the future, we're asking you what you want. And on top of that, we've turned it into a giveaway because we really, really, really want you to participate. So for the next week, from April 2nd to April 9th, you can now fill out the survey and be entered to win a chance to have a reading with me. They no longer exist. You cannot experience them anywhere at any time. So this is really like a very special experience, if I may say so, to have that experience. So if you would like the opportunity to have that reading, please, please, please fill out the survey. Amelia, is there anything that you want to say about the survey? I would love to know if you have any thoughts or feelings about just any of the things I've said. Okay, please.
So many things. So the first thing being, I've had a reading with Zoey before. I've gifted my sister a reading with Zoey before. These readings are dope. They are such a great opportunity to get a look at like the next, well, in April, it'll be like 8 months until the end of the year. Like it's good. It's in spring because spring is obviously the start of the year, technically, not January.
I'll read you your whole year ahead.
Exactly. Great opportunity to like get yourself going at the start of the season. So definitely. And it's also going to be, all you have to do is like answer a few questions and you get to like shape a whole podcast based off it. Second thing, Zoey's human design, she's a responder. So she quite literally in her spiritual DNA will benefit from you giving her feedback and giving her thoughts. So please don't hold back. If it's something like, fuck Amelia, maybe like, no, but you know, also we appreciate it. That's what we want to hear. And then the last thing was saying how you're wanting to do all of this and like kind of transform in April during a collective month 5. I hope that this is a reminder / a permission slip that it's a reminder of, if Zoey was operating her business with like a capitalist corporate mindset, Zoey would still be doing what she started doing like a decade ago when she started her business. But that's not how we do things. This is the essence of multi-passionate. it's the way that we grow, and it's the way that we adapt. Even if things are doing well, it's like, yeah, but it's just time to like do some spring cleaning, dust off the cobwebs of some of your ideas. So I want it to also be a permission slip to, if you want to kind of change anything, transform anything, burn it to the ground and build it back up again, fucking do it. We got
this. Is the time. This is the time. And we're doing it together. And I do want to say, as we're just kind of starting to wrap up here, we are seeing this on a collective scale. We are still witnessing, because, okay, here's the thing. Last year was a collective year 9. So we were all in this year of like endings, closures, and letting go. But as we embrace new beginnings, we do still have to face the remnants of what was that still needs to be cleared out. And I think this is really important because it's not until you start doing something that you realize how you need to stop doing something else. And I think it's important to give yourself permission during this time to not just be impulsive in the things that you embrace, but the things that you release to make room for what is coming. The things that you feel like you need to let go of or create space from, to give yourself permission to be the fullest, most expressed, most explored, and curious version of who you are. This is a time to just absolutely balls to the wall, or as we say in the container, knees to the trees. Give yourself the space to try something on for size, to fail in front of others, to be impulsive, to be experimental, and to not know the answer. You don't have to know the answer. You don't even have to have a hypothesis. You just have to have an inkling and an intuition that something wants to happen in your life. That's all you need to know. Just keep following that instinct and that impulse wherever it takes you. And which is what we're doing over here.
And share it with someone, like vocalize it. Even if it's just one person, say it out loud to someone who isn't expecting it. You would be surprised at what their response would be. I have been surprised in the best way by how shifting the way I show up on social media and just in my life, the things that have come through around it that I didn't expect. I was kind of just like, I'm just going to do it, and if I'm doing it alone, I am. But you would be surprised the people that show up that you haven't heard from in years or something, that really embrace what you're saying and what you're doing. So say it out loud.
Oh, I'm so all about that. I feel like we just did a raw and authentic challenge. I did this challenge that's designed by George Poulos. You guys know him. You know I love him, George. He and I are back together, shall we say. And I really do love George so much. And he has this raw and authentic challenge. And I just completed it myself in the month of March. And my students also completed it in the month of March, my mentees. And at the beginning, they were so afraid of what people would say or what people would respond if they noticed and saw that they were all of a sudden posting every day for 30 days when they usually didn't really post at all. And we were all so surprised and delighted, by myself included. Like, I had a lot of people in my personal life be like, whoa, hold on, your content's better. Like, I like it because I'm actually making it myself. Like, I'm every day doing something raw and authentic. The response that we all ended up receiving was so loving, so attentive, so caring. And the truth is, people rarely, especially if they know you, take the time to be like, what are you doing? You're weird. Stop doing this. Only a troll or a hater is going to behave that way. And we don't care about trolls and haters, you guys. We really fucking don't. Okay. If you do, stop caring. I know it's easier said than done, but the truth is, like, they don't deserve your time or energy. It's the people that are proud of what you're doing, inspired by what you're doing, curious about what you're doing, that are going to be the ones that say, hey, I noticed you're posting more. Like, tell me about that. Or, hey, like, I noticed you're starting to talk about this. Like, is that something you're working on? Those are the people that matter the most. And it takes a lot of courage to reach out to someone and say, oh, I noticed you. So let them notice you and let them be inspired by you. Even when you're not really sure what you're doing, you have no idea the impact that you're leaving in someone else's, like, in the wake of your work. You have no idea how that's waving and flowing into the lives of other people. It is so powerful. So what Amelia is saying, spot on.
Love it. Love it.
Well, I think that's enough yapping for today, guys. I feel like we covered a little bit of everything. So here's what I'm saying to expect coming forward. Some things are going to look different. Okay, we're going to be talking about the same things in different ways and bringing you some new creative and inspired ideas that we're cooking up on this side. It's not just a podcast. You hear me say it all the time. It's a show. And we are ready to put on a show. And we're getting ready to explore the new ways that we want to be doing things. So please go ahead, click down in the show notes, fill out the survey, go to zoegreco.com and save your spot for Pajama Party this month. It's going to be the third Thursday of the month, 7 p.m. PST. We would love to see you there. And if you want to see the time of Pajama Party change, put that in the survey, okay? Let us know what you want to see. Any final words from you, Amelia?
Just thank you for inviting me here. Thank you to your community that are listening for allowing me to yap a little. And also, when you said we're putting on a show, what came to mind was, sorry, I was going to say I'm not always like this, but I am always like this. Have you seen Chicago? Have you seen Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know at the end, like the duo dance.
Yes.
I just feel like you and me.
Literally, with our names and giant lights. Yes, 100%. 100%. Thank you, Amelia, for being here. I know you are a busy, busy being, whether you are transforming people's businesses with your marketing acumen, whether you are writing a future best-selling novel, whether you are creating content for the Velvet page, or DJing, out dancing on rooftops, at Pilates. No matter what you're doing, you are always giving it your fullest. And I'm just so grateful to have you here with me today. And who knows, guys, maybe Amelia will be back. Let us know if you want to see that. And if you don't want to see it, don't say a word. She's my bestie, okay? And we love her. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. There you have it, blessed babes. Thank you for joining us for another episode. And of course, I want to conclude by reminding you that you are important, you matter, and you are perfect exactly as you are. I love you. Your spirit guides love you. Amelia loves you. And the universe loves you. So until next time, keep answering the call of your higher self. Bye, friends.